Al Keck here. I have to tell you about my amazing pampered experience at Daniela LaCorey Styling Studio. First of all, I love what she did with my hair, but it's the entire experience that truly sets her apart. You walk in, and chances are she's playing your favorite music because she pours you your favorite adult beverage because she. It's gone from haircut to a truly relaxing time. Only at Daniela LaCorey Styling Studio. Haircuts, men and women, full spa treatments, hair color. Get it all with Daniela. Check her out on Instagram at Daniela LaCorey or book her on the Booksy app at ladybarberdaniela.booksy.com. Tell her how Keck sent you and get $10 off your first service, plus neck and shoulder massage. Daniela LaCorey Styling Studio. Al Keck here for my friends at Family Lawn, Pest, Handyman, and Housekeeping. I'm all about saving money and saving time, especially when it comes to maintaining my home. These people are 4-in-1. One provider for my lawn, pest, handyman, and housekeeping. I don't have to call 4 different companies, receive 4 different estimates, have 4 different strangers come into my home and write 4 different checks. I simply call Roger and Paula at Family Lawn and Pest. Sign up for a year and leave the honeydews to them. Get a free estimate. Call 813-526-8111. That's 813-526-8111. Tell them Al Keck sent you and get $250 off your first year or 20% off your first month. It's Family Lawn and Pest and so much more. Medical marijuana made easy. See if you pre-qualify for your Florida medical marijuana card free of charge, 100% risk, obligation, and judgment-free with Fast Track Cannabis Clinics of America. You're talking Tampa-based #1 choice for compassionate care with business professionals. Discreetly begin your road to relief by dialing 813-358-CARD or visit www.mycannabiscard.com. That's 813-358-2273. And make sure to tell them that Al Keck sent you for $30 off new patient enrollment. Ask about military and senior discounts. Fast Track Cannabis Clinics of America. With uncertainty at an all-time high, securing what matters most has never been more important for your home or your office. Prevent disaster and make life easier. Try a security and home automation system from Alarm Engineers, Inc., Tampa's trusted leader for more than 30 years. State-of-the-art security systems, award-winning monitoring, and now full-spectrum smart home solutions. Alarm Engineers, Inc. has everything your home and office could possibly need and will work with any budget. Book a free security or smart home consultation today. Call 813-948-4000. That's 813-948-4000 and get your first month free by telling them Al Keck sent you. Alarm Engineers, Inc.
Hey, Stan Arthur here for the I Love St. Pete Facebook group. If you're a business owner looking to connect with tens of thousands of potential new local customers, you owe it to yourself to get enrolled in our Key Tag Rewards program. Since 2019, we've signed up more than 200 local merchants. Sponsor opportunities are available too, such as our group banner ad and even your own custom key tags. Just go to stpetekeytag.com, get enrolled, and get ready to get busy. stpetekeytag.com.
With the Tampa Bay Buccaneers pick.
With the first pick in the 2015 NFL Draft, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers select Jameis Winston, quarterback, Florida State.
And is he really ready for the crucible that the National Football League presents to any athlete, let alone the first overall selection in a draft? It has been done. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers have selected Jameis Winston, #1 overall in the 2015 draft.
Not only is your job to throw the ball a long way and lead the team and give incredible motivational speeches and things of that nature. But it's also to make sure that you don't also give the same exact chance to the other team to win the game when it comes to turnovers, because he ranks 7th in the NFL when it comes to turnovers, 30 interceptions on it. So Jameis Winston, not only is he number 8 in the history of the game for most pass yards, which would say, hey, that guy, damn good quarterback. What are the names up there? Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, Drew Brees, Ben Roethlisberger, Jameis Winston, Matthew Stafford, Mahomes, Patrick Mahomes. You're talking about the greatest in the game, and Jameis Winston is in there, and that's the upside of Jameis. But then you look at this number, it's like,
Drew Brees, 42 years old, 15 years to the day that he signed with the New Orleans Saints, has announced his retirement from the National Football League. And
I remember him as an all-time great, Skip, that no one saw this type of career happening.
Before we get to anything else, we do have some breaking news into First Take this morning, and that is that, according to Adam Schefter, Jameis Winston has been named the Saints starting quarterback, and he will make his first start for New Orleans on opening day versus the Green Bay Packers.
That's right, baby. Hey, not all that means we got shot a little more. Hey, we just got shot a little bit more. Okay, that's all it is. That's all it means. Got to see it through, my boy. Too. That's right. That's right. They beat up. I'm up, boy. Yeah, go on.
Left. Here is the play action fake. Brady throws the ball. Caught by Evans. Touchdown, Tampa Bay. There's the snap, and Brady has time. So it goes back. Caught ball. Touchdown, Tampa Bay. That's Leonard Fournette. Buccaneers defense, 4-man front, dropping Breeze. Breeze dropping as the pass. Oh, it's intercepted. Picked off by Devin White to the 40. Shoves a guy out of his way. Inside the 30, Devin White down the sideline. And the Bucs have the ball. We're in business deep in Saints territory. Shotgun formation. Justin Fields takes the snap, looks underneath, loses the football again. It's scooped up by the Bucs. Tampa Bay, Devin White gets the ball. It's at the 25-yard line. Fumble again. A sack fumble.
Happy Halloween and welcome to another edition of the NSPN Watch Party pregame show live here from Ducky Sports Lounge, 1719 West Kennedy Boulevard in Tampa. I'm your host, Peter Blake, along with the power man himself, Powers on Sports Podcast, Mr.
Yeah,
Jason
baby.
Powers. Yeah. As we get you ready for Bucs versus the Saints. How you doing today on this Halloween edition?
I'm doing great. I want to know what you were doing last night. Were you running the streets of Clearwater last night?
Absolutely, I was. No, I was getting ready for this game, which to me is somewhat epic because there are so many storylines. Of course, we led into it with Rhett Matthew, former CSP brother, Connecticut School of Broadcasting, a phenomenal job, my friend, on how to start off the show, the hype video. And all eyes will be on New Orleans as former Tampa Bay Buccaneer first-round quarterback, number 1 overall, Jameis Winston, starts for the New Orleans Saints versus Tom Brady and the Super Bowl champion Tampa Bay Buccaneers. You can't get any better than that, can you?
This is the what could have been game versus the what is game.
Absolutely.
The matchup of what could have been. We all thought Jameis 6 years ago was going to be the guy.
Yep.
He's shown flashes of brilliance. And then obviously we showed in the montage opening of the disastrous
his
finishes.
Career. Right. I mean,
up and down.
up and down, but
turnover machine.
Yes, but he's got the Saints at 4-2. They're fighting for this position. And of course, it goes back to the scene of the crime because, oh, by the way, the Bucs beat them in the divisional playoff. Although, once again, you wouldn't know that from the national media. They got swept. But of course, back to the scene of the crime in New Orleans, 30-20 in that divisional playoff for the Bucs to go to Green Bay and, of course, on their way to win Super Bowl 55. But we'll get into that. Definitely want to hear from you today. Happy Halloween. Don't be a ghost.
It's not dark yet, so everybody can still not liquored up. Everybody's still waking up from last night, probably.
Is that your mask or is that your real face?
That's that. What are you saying now? I don't have a face for TV. I have a face for radio.
727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. If that wasn't enough with Brady versus Winston being the former quarterback, back to the scene of the crime, you also have Mike Evans versus Marshawn Lattimore, which has been a matchup that you would have to say here, Jason Powers, the majority of the time has been won by Lattimore.
Absolutely.
Although with that big one reception by Mike Evans, a touchdown. With that being said, let's go out to the phone lines to lead it off. Here we go. Everybody gets walk-up music here because they're a superstar here live on NSPN. All right, Ed from Palm Harbor, welcome to your NSPN pregame show live here from Ducky's Bucs versus the Saints. What do you have to say, my friend?
Who's a superstar?
You're a superstar. The fans are the superstars. Go ahead.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. Hey, what's going on, guys? How you doing, Jason?
What's going on, buddy? How you doing? Go ahead.
We're going to dress up as pirates and, Buccaneer pirates and hang out and take care of the trick-or-treaters at home.
Okay. All right.
And I can't wait to watch this Saints killing today. And we're gonna show all the people that think that we made a mistake to let Jameis Winston go why he got let go.
Right.
All in the same game. And I really hope they turn him loose, because if they turn him loose, they're going to lose bad. It's going to be very high scoring against them.
Well, look, there's one statistic that I thought was very interesting when you do your research on this. The Saints have the less pass attempts in the league, 25 attempts. And we kind of talked about this when Winston was starting for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Have a running game, alleviate those throws. And I feel like that has to be the game plan. You have to make the Saints one-dimensional. You have to shut down Alvin Kamara, which, is a very tough test. And, of course, him checking down to Alvin Kamara. Kamara is the focal point of that offense. You get back Levante David, it looks like, so we'll update that situation. So I feel like that has to be your game plan. You have to force Winston to beat you, as crazy as that sounds. Coming into this game, 13 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. But once again, cutting down on those throws, less attempts in the National Football League with 25. To me, that has to be your game plan. What do you say, Ed and Jason?
I totally agree. But even if they didn't have Winston, Alvin Kamara is like a modern day Emmitt Smith. He's got to be somebody that you got to be planning to stop every time you play him. I mean, he's the biggest weapon they got on their team. They don't have. They got one guy who's okay, but most of their wide receivers are just average at best.
Yeah, so, lots of no names there, but they can still kill you. You have Marquez Callaway, who's fast. You have Traquan Smith, who had 2 touchdowns last year. They don't have Michael Thomas, of course. They've got a new tight end. They've had lots of changes, but once again, it always goes back to this, Jason. I want you to comment on this. It goes back to the pass pressure. You saw what that Tampa Bay Buccaneer defensive line could do last week versus a Justin Fields, 4 sacks, 5 turnovers. That's what you have to do. You have to duplicate that versus a Jameis Winston, right?
This is going to be a major test for the Buccaneer defense, not in the running game, but in defending Alvin Kamara in the passing game. Screens, flare-outs, all the things that they love to do with Kamara in the passing game. This is the part where you have to, Devin White, Levante David, very disciplined, even some safety help with Antoine Winfield and company. You have to contain Alvin Kamara in the passing game because Peyton's not going to let Jameis get reckless with the play calling.
Correct.
So he's not going to allow that. He's going to try to win this game on defense.
Correct.
Special teams.
Correct.
Field position.
Yes, absolutely. And that's what it comes down to. And once again, the Saints are definitely in the thick of it with all their changes offensively and defensively. They've always given Tampa Bay problems, especially last year. I get it. They did win in the playoffs, but those 2 regular season games. And look, Tampa Bay is on a roll right now, 6-1. You want to go into the bye week at 7-1. And these division contests usually count for 2. So,
if the Saints win the game today, they're in first place in the division.
Right.
Because of the head-to-head matchups. this is a big game for the Buccaneers, no doubt. The again, it's kind of a different way that New Orleans is playing. We've used to New Orleans being a high-octane offense.
Right.
They're going to be more controlled. They're going to use the clock. They're going to minimize the risk that Jameis is put into. So,
yeah.
Can the Buccaneers get the lead?
Yes.
Make Jameis have to throw the ball.
Because you don't want to get down early.
Yeah.
Because we know, look, this team likes to come back, but you don't come back versus a Saints defense, who, by the way, is third against the run. Yeah. Very talented. Maybe you'll be able to pass against them because they're not as great against the pass. But again,
and they got a good front four.
Right.
Their front four is very good.
Front four with Cam Jordan, of course, Davenport returning last week. What's your biggest key, Ed, to this game for the Bucs to beat New Orleans in the Big Easy?
The big key is that you've got to get pressure on Winston. You got to force him. You got to force them to pass.
Yeah.
Which means you got to take away Kamara. That should be your number one goal today, is to take away Kamara. Because I don't think Winston can beat us. I don't think he can beat us until he proves me other. I haven't seen him beat anybody yet, actually. Until he starts beating teams, then I'll be scared of him. But until then, I don't beat him. I don't think he can beat
They
him.
don't have a threat on the outside. That's the part that we should be able to really take advantage of. Is the threat is not on the outside. No Mike Thomas.
Right.
Callaway, he's okay, but we should be able to contain him. Traquan Smith.
Right.
It's again, to me, it's the middle of the field, the between the hash marks.
Correct.
Whether it's the tight end, whether it's Kamara. They just reacquired Mark Ingram this week, so he'll be active. He'll be in the mix.
Plug and play, like Todd Bowles said this week. So they want to run the ball, and they want to take the pressure off. And I think this is, different scheme for what Tampa Bay was asking Winston. And again, Winston has done a hell of a job. 13 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. But once again, this Bucs game plan defensively from Todd Bowles and up front, they got to get
shut
pressure.
down the run.
And I think getting back Levante David in the last couple of weeks, they have necessarily not been good against the run. I think that's the big key to it. Ed, what else, buddy?
Great news. They got Levante David back. They got Gronk back. They got Richard Sherman back.
Do we have that official? Because we don't know if that's official or not.
What?
So if Sherman, Gronk, and David are back in this game, we'll update you.
The only person that was off the chart early was Antonio Brown. He will not play.
Right.
Today. He will definitely not play today. But the rest of them look like they're going to play. So
yeah.
And basically, I think that really is helping us getting some of our defense back. I mean, it'd be great if we had them all back, but you can't have their
correct.
So
absolutely.
I think it'll be enough. I mean, we handled it. We handled the team last week pretty handily with our defense beat up.
Correct. Yeah.
So, I mean, the offense was good, but
different opponent this week, Ed.
That's
Very different opponent.
Very different opponent this week. This is a division rival. Right. All right, let me go ahead and fire.
As you
go ahead.
say all the time, you only play what's on your schedule. So
that's it. No, you're exactly right, and I think there's a lot of fans out there that will like to see them take care of New Orleans handily. But I'm going to tell you right now, Sean Payton, they're well coached. Dennis Allen is a defensive coordinator. They will have these guys ready. This may be a very ugly game, physicality at the most. But at the end of the day, I still think the Bucs win. Good stuff, Ed. Let me go ahead and fire those cannons for you right there.
A little edge for the Buccaneers to think about, folks, is they played Monday night in Seattle. Long travel back to New Orleans from Seattle Monday night. So, again, fatigue. Will fatigue be a factor in the second half potentially? Not as much recovery time. Again, they know each other, so the prep time is not as big a deal, I don't think. But, again, long trip from Seattle, that takes your toll on the big guys especially.
All right, let's go out to these comments here live on NSPN, where sports media evolves, live here from Ducky, 1719 West Kennedy Boulevard in Tampa. I'm your host, Peter Blake, along with the power man himself, Mr. Jason Powers. It's game day, LFG. Stephen Bridges says, Al Keck has always been one of my favorites. Glad to hear him on the airwaves. Once again, guys, please go ahead and click on that link so we can see your name. I know who this is, Mr. Rhett Matthew. Thanks, Sweet Pete. Absolutely deserve all the kudos, my friend, for doing a hell of a job on that hype video. That's exactly what we want in here. Y'all hating on Jay Boo early on the intro. There's no hating. It's just recounting what history is.
Right.
And I'm sorry if that hurts your feelings, which I think, once again, you're just trolling me.
Shut up!
All right, let's go out to David Moser here. I believe this is David. I think it is. I'm a Winston fan. I don't care if he throws for 4 touchdowns as long as Brady throws for 5. Let's go out to Mr. Drew Felios. If you don't know who he is, well, we're going to get to know him right now here live on NSPN. And, of course, I Love St. Pete. Welcome to your NSPN watch party, getting you ready for Bucs versus the Saints. How you doing today, Drew?
Hey, what's up, guys? Great show.
Drew, what's up, my brother?
Let me tell you something. I think this game's going to come down. In the end, I think it's going to be about trust.
Okay.
For a few moments, I was watching that game the Saints had it against Seattle last Monday night, and there were a few moments. Jameis comes to the sideline. You see the look that Sean Payton gives him.
Yep.
Like, what are you doing? I mean, there's still a little bit of distrust there.
Absolutely.
There's still a little bit of uncertainty. And those moments, guys, those little moments are going to come back to bite you, especially against a team like the Bucs who knows Jameis better than the back of their hand. So I think it's going to be as competitive as can be. But I think those little moments, the trust, and I also don't believe in his mind Jameis truly believes that he can beat the Bucs with Tom Brady under center.
Yeah, and I think it also comes down to situational football. What do you do in those critical situations? And we talk about penalties. The Bucs were able to clean that up, but throughout these matchups with the Saints here, Drew, they've turned over the ball. That's exactly what they didn't do in the playoff game. They didn't have critical penalties, and you talk about it. Coming into it, Winston is throwing the ball less than any other quarterback in the National Football League at 25 times. And I feel like that focal point of that offense is Alvin Kamara, as it always is. So if you shut him down, you make the Saints one-dimensional, and you force Winston to win the game, which I'm not sure Sean Payton wants him to do that. I think that's an advantage for the Bucs. What do you say?
Yeah, there's absolutely no hiding today. I think that's an absolute advantage to the Bucs. And imagine what's going through Jameis's mind. And I'll tell you what, guys, imagine what's going through the Bucs' mind, too, because you look at the last 2 regular season games last year, Saints not only beat the Bucs, they humiliated the Bucs. And Tampa Bay knows that. We are not going to go in at all overconfident in this game. Factor in the long travel that New Orleans had, as Jason pointed out just a few moments ago. And I just like the Bucs in this particular matchup. Also hope O.J. Howard can get involved today. I know he's a little bit dinged up. Gronk is, of course, coming back. I think the tight end position is going to be huge. And altogether, I love the Bucs in this game today. And before I go, guys, too, I want to tell you guys are doing a great job, Peter. I'm a big fan of you. You got a good tag team partner right there. And I love these types of shows where you guys go out and make your own media. You guys are doing a great job. Kudos to Al Tech, too. He's an absolute legend.
Yeah, he is. He's a legend in this business. 40 years of sports broadcasting experience. Of course, catch him on Sunday mornings, 10 a.m. on 102.5 Real Raw Radio. Drew Felios, love to have you on the sports web sometime. I'm a fan of you. I've watched you for years in this Tampa Bay market. Your buddy here.
I'm gonna brag on Drew a little bit.
Drew, go ahead.
Drew is the voice. I know, Drew, I want you to give a little pub too, because I know we got a big playoff game coming next Saturday, next weekend. The Tampa Bay Rowdies. Drew is the voice of the Tampa Bay Rowdies.
Wow.
The Rowdies are I think the number one. Are they the number 1 seed, Drew, in the conference?
The Rowdies are the number 1 CJ in the entire league.
Right,
They
okay.
locked that up last night in Vegas. So basically, Jason, they have this. If they win out, they will host the championship of the USL in Al Lang Stadium. They are in the driver's seat, Jay, to win this league.
Beautiful. Beautiful stuff. And
next Saturday night, right, Drew? Home game?
Next Saturday's first round. Yep, they have to go through first round, second round, third round, and then hopefully get to that championship game winning in that third round, and then hopefully Al Lang Stadium will host guys. And I know there's so much else going on with Lightning and Bucs and Rays, but we have a truly amazing soccer team in Tampa Bay. What they are doing, a tremendous coach, a great foundation, a great general manager, and it is really going to be fun over the next month. If you have not checked out Tampa Bay Rowdies soccer, please do. It's going to be a bundle of fun here over the next month.
And one more thing, Peter.
Yes.
We get Drew out of here. And Drew is also the voice of the PPA, the Professional Pickleball Association. So if you've never played pickleball, it's an awesome sport. I love it. It's a professional sport. They travel all over the country. I know Drew's been in Vegas, been out in California. They even had a big tournament here at Hillsborough Community College back in the spring.
Yeah.
So Drew is the voice of the pickleball.
That's right, guys. Next weekend, CBS Sports, Major League Pickleball from Austin, Texas. We're going live. Then the following weekend, we'll be in La Quinta, California for the final stop, the Masters of the PPA. That'll be on Fox Sports. Jason, thank you for the plugs, man. Peter, you're doing a great job as well. Love you guys.
Yeah, real quick, give me a prediction on this score. Saints versus the Bucs. Who wins and why?
Oh, I like Tampa Bay today, 38-21. I think too much firepower for the Bucs. I think they get into Jameis's head early. I think that the Bucs just have a little bit too much talent right now. Everything is just in total cohesion. For the Saints, they still have some kinks they're working out. Jameis does not have enough weapons. And again, the trust factor. I don't believe Sean Payton has that full trust in Jameis. That will show up today in this game in a few points.
There you go. Drew Bellios, voice of the Tampa Bay Rowdies. Thanks a lot for coming on here on NSPN's Watch Party live from Ducky's, all right?
All right, appreciate it, guys. Thank you.
See you, Drew.
There you go. Drew Bellios right there, a Tampa Bay legend in his own right. Spectrum Sports 360, of course. Various outlets here if you don't know who he is. And now the voice of the Tampa Bay Rowdies. Open phone line, 727-255-0391 at 727-255-0391. Happy Halloween. Getting you ready for Bucs versus the Saints, of course. Jameis Winston taking on his former team, and he played one snap with a touchdown on the trick play. But now it is the nitty-gritty against this Buccaneer defense, and we'll see what happens today.
Yep, we got, again, lots of interesting 1 o'clock games going on.
Yes.
Full plethora of games. The Titans have just scored to take the lead over the Colts.
Okay.
They were down 14-0 early. Have come back. It's 21-17. You got the Dolphins and the Bills that are in a very low-scoring.
What the hell is going on there?
3-3 game.
Wow.
You got Pittsburgh and Cleveland, 10-3 Cleveland.
Yep.
Early third quarter, you got Atlanta and Carolina, 10-9. We got Duckies filling up with fans of all the teams around the league.
Bengals 17-14 over the Jets. Jets have
closer game than everybody thought.
Mike White starting at quarterback for Zach Wilson, still playing hard for that coach there. Yep. Of course, Tampa Bay Bengals contingent here. We'll get them on sometime live on NSPN. And, of course, the big tilt today, Bucs versus the Saints. Tell you what, let's keep on reading these comments, and then we'll go on to what Brady had to say about the Saints. Once again, if you are logged into I Love St. Pete, click on the link. I want to see your name here because I can't necessarily see your name. I think that's David right there. Bucs finally playing against a decent team. I thought the Saints had the second or the third best secondary in the league right now. They are third against the run.
Yep.
Not necessarily the best versus the pass, so that may be the matchup to look at. Once again, Lattimore on one side and then a bunch of unknown.
I think Godwin will be a big factor today because Lattimore is going to be on Evans. I think Godwin running around the slot, in and around the numbers. You got Tyler Johnson's going to be playing. You're going to have probably Gronk back.
Yeah.
Potentially 2 tight end sets there, that kind of stuff. So look for Chris Godwin today. Could be today for Chris Godwin.
Yeah, agree. We were expected to have Leo Haggerty, the legend himself, former coach, scout, and now media member of Night Sports Productions at Sports Mag. He's in the press box. He's saying it's loud right now, so I don't know if we're going to be able to get him on. We may try to give him a call.
Can you imagine what the Halloween costumes are in the Superdome?
I mean, normal games, they're usually crazy, but for Halloween.
4 o'clock.
Yes.
The Bucs in town, the world champions.
I'm telling you.
Halloween night,
back
dark.
to the scene of the crime.
Man.
Yes, absolutely beautiful. All right, so let's go out. Brandon Spikes in the building. Go Bucs. Troy Polamalu, King Troy. I'm at the bar deck, and grill. I can't find you. Again, you're trolling. Brandon Spikes is in the building. Go Buccaneers. Ron, Bucs fanatic, McClary, Mr. Peter Blake. Happy Halloween, brother, and happy game day again. Troy Polamalu again. Any news on the Florida State Criminals? Once again, you're cruising.
Shut up! By the way, speaking of the Seminoles,
yes,
they had a brutal bet. You talk about a bad beat for all you gamblers out there. They're down by 4 to Clemson yesterday. The spread's 9.5.
Right.
Last play of the game, they start all the laterals and all that stuff against Clemson, throw it backwards. Clemson scoops it up and scores on the last play of the game. They lose by 10. Bust up. If you had Florida State plus 9.5,
yeah,
you were a loser.
You're a loser.
And they really played. And they really played well yesterday. I got to give them credit. They played pretty well yesterday at Clemson. had every chance in the world to win the game. It just ended up a bad beat.
Yes,
very bad beat.
A bad beat.
Scott Van Pelt style.
That's what you get. You lose. Let's see. So we read that comment. I tell you what, let's go out to Tom Brady and his thoughts, how he talked about the Saints, and he talks a lot about this Saints defense, but overall, why this Saints team is so good here live at Ducky's on NSPN, and I love St. Pete. Enjoy.
Yeah, it's a great question, and they are very difficult, in terms of making big plays. They do a good job of kind of protecting the deep part of the field. I think they make it very difficult on you to continue to move the ball effectively and efficiently because, they have a lot of continuity. I think in their secondary, the linebackers are very athletic. They draft very athletic linebackers. They sign very athletic linebackers. They have a very big defensive line. And they have obviously really good coaches, really good coordinators. So everything is a challenge. They have a lot of veteran players. So, sometimes you feel like when you play less experienced guys, there's things you can get away with, but not these guys. You really have to be on everything. They have some very challenging packages on third downs, especially. So we just studied everything and try to be prepared for everything and understand there'll probably be a few new things, but we gotta just go play a really sound football game, and it's going to come down to BA said earlier in the week, obviously we turned the ball over a lot the first couple games we played them, and we didn't score touchdowns in the red area. And then, in the playoff game, we did a better job in the red area. We got turnovers, but, it's going to be a tough game. This is a good football team. They've been playing well for a long time. They're having a great season this year. They were a great season last year. They had a good season the year before. So, they're one of the best football teams in the NFL. So we're going to have to go out there and play really great top to bottom.
All right, welcome back here live on NSPN. And, of course, I love St. Pete. I'm your host, Peter Blake, here live from Ducky Sports Lounge, along with Jason Powers. And he mentions it once again, you've got to play a clean football game. They're going to take advantage of turnovers. They're going to take advantage of penalties. And, of course, Brady, during the regular season, didn't necessarily have his best contest, right?
No, I mean, we didn't play very well in the regular season. And if you remember in the playoff game, things weren't going well.
No.
I mean, it was a back-and-forth game, but the play of the game was the Jared Cook fumble in the middle of the third quarter.
Yeah.
The Saints were up, driving for more, and we stripped the ball about the 40-yard line or so. That whole game changed on that Jared Cook fumble.
They really did. Antoine Winfield, the man on the spot, and I believe it's Devin White picking it up there, acting like he's a running back again at LSU. And then, of course, White again. And to me, that's kind of the player that you're kind of circled on with Alvin Kamara. Jameis Winston is going to dump it off, which he did against Seattle. 10 catches for Kamara. Plenty of yards there, but if you're going to dump it down, you feel good about that linebacking core, namely getting a Levante David back. But White, the way he played in that postseason, in your opinion, do you feel like he can duplicate that effort like he did last postseason?
Discipline for Devin. Devin likes to jump plays. He likes to overreact sometimes. If you're Devin White and Levante, just play the defense. Play the defense because you're going to be a big factor in this game today with Kamara so involved in the offense.
Going back to Brady, last game versus the Bears as they disposed of them 38-3, 20 for 36, 211 yards, 4 touchdowns, no interceptions for the year, 21 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. But as we talked about at the beginning of this broadcast, the real matchup is Mike Evans, who he got big time involved against the Bears last week. 6 catches, 76 yards, 3 touchdowns. Different story versus Marcus Lattimore here. Marshawn Lattimore, excuse me, Marcus's brother. Marshawn Lattimore, because Lattimore, once again, has always dominated. So that's going to be a matchup you have to watch. Who wins out? Will Evans get behind him? Will Evans be able to fight for the ball? Or once again, will it be Lattimore winning that battle?
Brady's going to Evans. You're not going to see Brady shy away from Lattimore.
No.
Lattimore's a good player, but Evans is going to get some throws. Can you go win the 50-50 balls? Can you go win can you get inside position on the slants and the post? That's going to be the key. And Lattimore likes to grab, so look for interference calls potentially.
Yeah,
he's a grabber. He likes to jump routes, so don't be surprised if they double move him.
And DK Metcalf had a big play against him. 94 yards on Monday Night Football. They're on a short week.
Yep.
They barely beat Seattle. Again, though, you know, the National Football League is not for long. Any team can beat any team, of course. Your thoughts on this game, Bucs versus the Saints, 727-255-0391 at 727-255-0391. Brady was asked this week.
By the way, we have a developing situation.
What's going on?
Steelers have just tied the game, and your boy Big Ben Roethlisberger with a quarterback draw for a 2-point conversion because the kicker for the Steelers got blown up on a fake field goal late in the first half. Seriously, he's out. Boswell is out. We have a 2-point conversion try. Looks like they're going to have to retry the 2-point conversion, I believe.
So close game there. Baker Mayfield, of course, has an injury to the opposite shoulder, not the throwing shoulder.
The
left shoulder there. Probably from doing all those commercials. We'll see if the Cleveland Browns. Yes.
Wow. You mean putting all the money in his pocket?
Right. Well, yeah, absolutely. Well, yeah.
Putting all the checks in his pocket.
Here comes the money. I mean, that's what Baker Mayfield is doing.
Can you blame the man?
No, I can't blame him. But again, you got to start winning games here, and you got to start being more consistent and not turning over the ball. We'll keep you abreast of that situation right now. Looks like Cleveland up 10-9.
2-point conversion coming back.
2-point conversion right now with Pittsburgh.
Going to replay it here.
Troy Polamalu, Big Ben, not a Big Ben fan here. The NFL is the National League, not the World League, so Bucs are the national champions. Look, I'm not going to fight with you on this today. They are the world champions because I say they are the world champions.
And Ric Flair would say it too, baby.
Yes, that's right. Absolutely. So there you go. Welcome to NSPN, where sports media evolves, live here from Ducky Sports Lounge. I'm your host, Peter Blake, along with the power man himself, Mr. Jason Powers.
Baby. We gotta get a new sound for me, man.
You don't like the Austin Powers thing?
I don't like it, but we need to get a second one.
Powers.
We need to get a second one.
All right. We'll figure something out. What do you want?
I'll think about it.
All right,
I'll get back with you.
Ponder it, if you will. Let's go ahead and ponder the comments of why the Saints are so good as Tom Brady gets
Touchdown
into that.
Buffalo.
There you go. Touchdown Buffalo. Who is that?
That is number 13. That might be Gabe Davis, I believe, from Central Florida.
Yes, there you go. He was on my bench. I cut him last week, so good cut by me. Obviously not.
10-3 Buffalo, late third quarter.
All right, close game there in Buffalo, in Orchard Park, if you will. My father's favorite team before the Bucs. Yes, so let's go out to Tom Brady and how he describes this defense and why they are so good here live on NSPN and I Love St. Pete. Here we go.
First of all, their physical attributes. They're all big. They're tough. They're very, physically, they're very stout. They play the run game well. It's a big D line. Like I said, very athletic linebackers that are physical. Demario Davis, one of the best linebackers in the NFL. And then secondary-wise, a lot of guys can do different things. So they can blitz. They can cover. They got great cover players. Marcus Williams is a really good safety. So in the end, they're really deep in the secondary. They're good. They're really deep at linebacker, and they're really deep at the D line. So that makes for a good defense. Then again, their coach does a good job, putting those guys in positions to be successful, and they do a great job. They held, one of the best defenses in the league right now. They held Seattle to 10 points last game at home. That's tough to do. One of them was like an 85-yard touchdown. So they just don't give up a lot of points. They're very good in the red area. They have good third down package. So, I played them now 3 times in however many games. So I feel like I'm pretty familiar with them, but ultimately we're going to have to go play great football to beat them.
And again, it comes back down to the Saints defense, coming into this game, only giving up 16.8. Of course, the Bucs 33.3 overall, but on the road, only 23.7. So once again, a close game. And then the matchup to watch for is the Bucs and their effectiveness in the red zone against the number 1 defense in the red zone versus the Saints. They really get after it, led by Demario Davis and, of course, our old friend Cameron Jordan.
No, you're right. They are, and they've always been buck killers too. That defensive line and those linebackers have played our offensive line very well. And again, Jensen, Marpet, Kappa, Donovan, and Tristan, that's where you earn your money. We want to be considered a top 3-4 offensive line in the league. Today's the day to prove it.
It really is. And coming into
in the running game too.
Of course. And that's the thing with this third defense, third in the NFL against the run. That's the most difficult situation. And the first 2 matchups, a total, Jason Powers, of 79 rushing yards with the 2 matchups. the difference in the playoff game, 127. You look at Leonard Fournette going back to LSU, of course, college alma mater, and wanting to show up and show up big, and he has been big for this Tampa Bay Buccaneer team lately. 413 yards, really solidifying a bell cow runner for this team. He's really come of age. And then on top of it, again, last week, 15 for 81, 1 touchdown. Yep. Jones had 10 for 63, yep. 182 yards. That's the way you have to beat the Saints today, and that's a tough test.
I don't anticipate them running for that kind of yardage today,
yeah.
But you have to run the attempts. You have to be consistent with the attempts.
Correct.
It's not all about yards. It's about attempts and keeping them honest,
right?
To where they're not teeing off on Brady on the pass rush.
Exactly.
Score update.
Yes.
From Detroit.
Yes.
Philadelphia 38, Detroit nothing.
You know, and I fell for it. I went on.
Everybody thought.
I went on the over/under with Harry the Greek on 1252 Sports. I took the Lions, and this is what I get for that.
Everybody thought this was the week Detroit was going to get it done.
And they don't.
And they are getting boat raced in their own building.
They're getting their doors blown
and
off.
Philadelphia is not very good either. That's the other part.
I want to go back out to Tom Brady because he talked about this specific matchup with the offensive line coming into it, only giving up 9 sacks. But once again, the test is versus that defensive line of Davenport and Cameron Jordan. Here we go.
Definitely, I think they have a lot of guys who can do different things. Certainly guys that can win with speed. Certainly a lot of guys who can win with power, guys that win with effort. And it's a collective group that linebackers blitz a lot. The safeties can blitz. They try to corner blitz us on us last year. So they have a good scheme that always keeps you guessing. And, you know, anytime you have a team like that, you know, you just we got to make sure we're communicating about what we see and how we're going to deal with it. And understanding they do a good job of what they do. So our line has done a great job all year. I mean, we'll obviously know the situations that they'll try to use some of their exotic stuffs in, but you know, it's really one play at a time about execution, and that's all being on the same page and seeing things the same way. That's the only way to deal with it.
And he talked about it. It's about communication, and that's going to be a big factor today because look, the Bucs, they went back to New Orleans in the playoff divisional round. They won, but you didn't have a big-time crowd. Today, you're going to have to deal with the ferocity, Leo word, of those fans dressed up in their costumes.
Liquored up.
Absolutely. And that's where communication, that's where, you know, those penalties, you have to cut down on them. You can't get into those situations where it's 1st and 15 or 2nd and 15 or even 3rd and 15 if it's 3rd and 10 or 3rd and 5. You can't get into those situations. So the crowd is definitely going to be a part of it. And then on top of it, Demario Davis, did you see his game on Monday night, the middle linebacker for the Saints? 8 of the 31 tackles for loss are by that man right there. He can take over games, and he definitely is a big part of not only getting after quarterbacks, but also stopping the run.
He might be the most underrated defensive player in the NFL.
Correct.
People don't know. A lot of people don't know who Demario Davis is.
Correct.
You know, he's been in the league 8, 9, 10 years now.
Yeah.
Long career, solid, but he's really, really prospered when he joined the New Orleans Saints.
Absolutely, absolutely. To talk about another former Tampa Bay Buccaneer, that would be Quan Alexander, getting him back in the fold. But here's what we know about Alexander. He over pursues, but he can also make some plays when he's playing his game. So watch for that matchup today. Once again, Davenport came back last week, was a big-time get for that defensive line. Calls a lot. They had 5 sacks versus Geno Smith. But, look, you're not playing Geno Smith. You're playing Tom Brady, and that's why the onus is for that Saints line to get pressure on, and that's the matchup you also have to watch in this game. That Bucs line there with Tristan Wirfs, who handled Cameron Jordan last year, Donovan Smith, no Trey Hendrickson. Now he's in Cincinnati. Good thing for that, but you have Davenport, you have Cam Jordan, and once again, this line, 9 sacks given up. You've got to keep Brady clean just like you did last week versus that Chicago Bear defense. Although no Robert Quinn, you still have Khalil Mack. They did a hell of a job. So you got to do the same thing with the Saints.
Absolutely. I got an NFC South update for you.
Sure.
From Atlanta, Young Ho Koo has just missed a 38-yard field goal.
Oh, my.
Carolina 12, Atlanta 10, late third quarter. And for our Bengals contingency, 17-17, Jets-Bengals in a surprise in New York.
And it just shows you with everybody getting on that bandwagon, as they should.
Yes.
Because the Bengals, they beat the Baltimore Ravens 41-17. Huge win, get over game. And then you don't think the Jets, with their injury with Zach Wilson, they're going to come out and play. They're playing tough at home. They're giving the Bengals everything they want. And when you let a team hang out,
backup quarterback, no Zach Wilson.
Unbelievable.
Everybody thinks it's going to be a ho-hum,
right?
Lights out, kind of runaway kind of game.
Yep.
The National Football League, not for long.
Not for long, my friend. All right, so let's see. Legend has it, AJ Green is still pondering where the football went. I mean, that was a big-time break for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Arizona getting their first loss versus the Packers. I mean, who would have thought the Packers, without Devontae Adams and Lazard, would win that game? But they had a sound game plan. Rodgers, 184 yards, not turning over the football, playing pretty good defense, and beating the Arizona Cardinals.
Job. Give them full credit. That was a game
on the road.
Not many people thought they were going to win. Short week, on the road, COVID issues in their wide receiving core. A.J. Dillon ran the ball really well. He and Aaron Jones. Rodgers with some timely throws. He wasn't fantastic, but he completed the balls he needed to complete. And that Green Bay defense, give him credit.
You got to definitely give credit to the Tampa Bay.
And what is A.J. Green doing?
I don't know. Have no idea what A.J. Green is doing. He's a veteran. He should know better. I don't know what Kyler Murray is doing, but look, he turned over the ball.
Kyler Murray's throwing the ball to A.J. Green is what Kyler Murray's doing.
Right, but he turned over the ball, too, in the red zone, and you can't do that, and you're exactly right, and that's been the difference, and that is going to be the difference today, the turnover situation. I know we talk ad nauseum about Jameis Winston. Tom Brady struggles during the regular season, but going back to it, during the playoffs, they took care of it. They got to do that today to beat the Saints, and, of course, the Saints got to do the same thing. Turnover situation is big. Bucs fans, if you want to talk about it, 727-255 0391 at 727-255-0391. I'm your host, Peter
Huge throw from Joe Burrow, about 50 yards.
T. Higgins had a Clemson.
T. Higgins, yep. Looks like a deep post route for about 50 down to about inside the Jets' 20.
What is that coverage right there by the New York Jets?
And Pittsburgh's driving to take the lead in Cleveland. Nice job by Pittsburgh. No kicker into the third quarter, which really hampers their play calling.
Sure it does.
When you can't kick a field goal or an extra point,
right,
you mean you got to go for it.
And you feel like that may come back to haunt them with missing out on your field goal kicker here. Let's go out to Troy Polamalu, King Troy. Trojan Legend SC, I just found out the Detroit Lions were formerly the Portsmouth Spartans.
Touchdown Bengals, Joe Mixon.
Very nice. And, of course, the contingent over there of Bengal fans
going
just
wild.
Gotta love it. I got to get these guys on. I love them. I seen them coming in here.
It's back to the Sam Weiss days.
It really is.
In Cincinnati. The jungle.
Welcome to the jungle.
The jungle, baby.
We got fun and games.
Remember when Sam Weiss was in Tampa and they had the big billboard? You may not remember this on Dale Mabry. 5-2.
Yes.
Remember the 5-2 saying from Sam Weiss?
Yes, 5-2. And, of course, a new day
in Tampa Bay. That's it, baby.
Absolutely good stuff here. All right. So we read that comment there from, I guess, Troy Polamalu, King Troy, trying to educate us. I tell you what, everybody wants to know what Jameis Winston had to say with his matchup against his former team, and you may be surprised. We'll come back and talk about that more here live on NSPN and, of course, I Love St. Pete. Here we go.
No, I was very happy for the guys that put in a lot of years there with me for them to get there and end up on top. I was very happy for my teammates. But it's this year now, and that's one of our goals. And our next opponent is them, so that's who we want to beat this week.
Every time we've been in front of you and every time I've seen you do an interview, you seem like you have an overwhelmingly positive personality. Did you have to deal with any bitterness, anger, feel how to get over that, or those kind of thoughts just aren't part of your makeup?
No, everything happens for a reason, and I'm very grateful for that organization and the Glazer family for giving me the opportunity. I mean, drafted number 1 overall to that city. That city done a lot for me, and I know I've done a lot for that city, so that's why I stay at now. So I definitely love that city. So now we get to play them. So this week it's time to play, and all the lovey-dovey stuff is behind. Man, I've always been an emotional football player, and I think that's something that I'm trying to, work on. Being present instead of being stuck in my feelings. As a quarterback, we have to be present at all the time and aware of everything that's going on. sometimes too much emotion can lead us to places that we don't want to go. And I come from a level of gratitude and optimism. You know, a lot of people don't agree with that all the time, but I'm grateful I get a chance to play this team. You know, I want to beat them. I want to beat them bad. And in my heart, you know, I'm ready to rock. But at the end of the day, they're another opponent. You know, another opponent that we got to beat, and that's in this division. And they got a good team. They coming in here hot. So we got to, you know, stand our ground and represent at our house.
All right, so there you go. Welcome back to Ducky's here live on NSPN. I love St. Pete with your pregame show, your watch party, getting you ready for Bucs versus the Saints. I'm your host, Peter Blake, along with the power man himself, Mr. Jason Powers. Do you believe all this? I mean, it's all well and good to say the lovey-dovey stuff is over. I play for the Saints now. I have no, revenge feelings. I'm matured. I've humbled. But at game time, you know that Winston is going to get excited.
As a competitor, for sure. But I will give Jameis this credit.
Yes.
He's never really dogged the Buccaneer organization.
He has not.
I mean, he's been a stand-up guy.
Sure.
You know, he knows deep down
correct
what the issues were.
Yeah.
And he knows that, any team in America, if they got a chance to get Tom Brady and you're not the absolute elite franchise quarterback, they're going to make a move.
Correct. Absolutely.
And he knows his history was up and down. So I'll give him credit. Remember, he went to New Orleans for $1 million last year.
Correct.
Took the absolute, basically a minimum contract to sit behind Drew, knowing Drew was going to be probably one more and done.
Mm-hmm.
Another great offensive mind. He easily could have gone somewhere else.
Right.
Been a starter, but probably not in a good system. Been exposed, and his career might have been over last year if he'd have gone and failed somewhere else last year.
Correct.
I think the year away from being the starters helped him. I think he has matured over the last 4 or 5 years as a Buccaneer after his couple off the field incidents. I'll give him credit. Is he going to be a Hall of Famer? No. But can he still be a good quarterback in the league? I think he can be.
He can make all the throws, and that's the disappointing thing with Winston. And I know we're talking about it, but there is some relevance to this subject because he was the former Tampa Bay Buccaneer first-round draft pick. He can make all the throws, but also he can make bad throws. And I look at the Saints team very conservative, if you will. Their money has been made with Sean Payton and his play calling, going down the field, taking shots. You don't see that with this offense. And you feel like the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are going to force him to do that. Is that the way you beat the Saints today, with shutting down Alvin Kamara, making them a one-dimensional offense, and getting over those 25 attempts, trying to get him into the 40s and 50s? So there is a possibility that he can try to fit it into those windows and throw some interceptions.
And remember, too, here's another thing you got to remember about the Saints. If you really look at their skill positions other than Kamara, they don't got much they got little to nothing on the outside.
Correct.
When Mike Thomas is in the mix, he's a good player, but they've been ravaged by salary cap issues.
Yep.
So they've had to get rid of a lot of guys. They don't have no Emmanuel Sanders, no really good tight end that they've had in previous years. So they're not
Jawan Johnson.
He's
Troutman.
okay.
This is not Jared Cook stuff.
Yeah.
This is not Jeremy
It's not
Shockey.
Marcus Colston. It's
right.
It's not all those guys that were there.
Correct.
So I think Peyton's calling the game based on the personnel that he has.
Yeah. Agree. And you look at Alvin Kamara last week, 20 carries for 51 yards. Yep. His yards per carry this year has actually dropped a little bit. 10 catches for 128 yards. He's averaging about 70 yards a game. You got to shut him down. And
well,
that's
you don't have to shut him down. You just can't let him kill you. You're not going to shut Alvin Kamara down.
Exactly what Todd Bowles said. I'll tell you what, let's go out to Todd Bowles really quick on how you defend an Alvin Kamara. And when he was asked about who should defend him and what he had to say about Devin White and the rest of this defense here live on NSPN. And, of course, I Love St. Pete. Here we go.
I don't know if anyone matches up well with Kamara. I think it's a team effort. We slowed him down. I don't know if we necessarily stopped him completely. He's probably one of the best three backs in the league right now, running and catching the football. So it's going to take all 11 of us right now. Devin's just one guy. We don't try to match Devin on Kamara to play football. It's going to take all 11 of us to try to slow him down and win the game.
All right, so there you go. I mean, it's simple.
And the key is make the tackle when you got him wrapped up. That where he's devastating is he breaks tackles instead of a 6-yard gain, it's 26 yards.
Right. And what you're worried about is, once again, him coming out of the backfield on possibility of those wheel routes, which has been very difficult for the Bucs to defend. So, Devin White, Levante David being back in the fold. Is there any concern with this Bucs rush defense the last 2 weeks, giving up 100 yards versus the Philadelphia Eagles, giving up 100 yards versus the Chicago Bears? Is that a sign of this defense without Levante David, or is there something more? What do you see with this defense, obviously?
Again, remember last week against the Bears, the game was out of hand quickly.
Correct.
So they're going to pop a couple runs.
Sure.
One, whether it's effort, whether it's just complacency.
Right.
They popped a couple runs. Okay, good. But no team has consistently run the ball when the games really mattered.
Yeah.
Has run the ball down our throats, and that's the positive thing that you gotta like about the Buccaneer defense. But they get paid too. They got good offensive lines.
Sure.
New Orleans has a good line. They get paid too.
All right, I'll tell you what. Let's go out to one of our callers. Let's go ahead and get his intro on, and he wanted this, so here we go.
Yeah! Tampa, make some noise! Your Buccaneers are in the Super Bowl! Let's go!
All right, Curtis from Newport Richie, welcome to your NSPN watch party. What do you got to say? Bucs versus the Saints. Go for it. Oh, there we go, Curtis. Go ahead.
What's up, brother? How you doing?
What's up, man? Happy Halloween.
Curtis.
Absolutely. All right. Let's. I'm not worried about Alvin Kamara.
Not worried about him. Not at all.
Not worried about.
He's been a Bucs killer over his his career. So right.
We have to stop Jameis.
Okay.
We have to put the pressure on Jameis because if anybody knows Jameis like we know Jameis, pressure busts pipes when it comes to Jameis Winston.
Sure.
And I wish Harry the Greek was on here because I wanted to know what the over-under is on Jameis Winston fumbling the ball today.
Oh, my goodness. We'll try to get Harry the Greek on here in just a little bit, and that may be a proposition bet in Las Vegas. We'll see about that, but you feel like, once again, you kind of have to duplicate that effort against the Chicago Bears. I get it's a rookie quarterback, but like you said, if you get pressure in his face, not necessarily sacks, but pressure in Jameis Winston's face, you force him to throw things that he doesn't necessarily want to do.
Force him to make a decision.
Correct.
And force him to make a quick decision.
Correct.
That's what he makes his decision.
Correct.
Touchdown, Stephon Diggs
There you
in
go.
Buffalo.
So now Buffalo basically
17-3.
Yep. Going away now.
Curtis, speaking of the number, the point spreads dropped 2 points. It was 6 when the week started. It's down to 4 points, and we got touchdown Pittsburgh, by the way, on 4th down. Wow, what a catch! But
I've been watching some of the people on ESPN. You got one or two people picking New Orleans and over. Listen, I'm gonna tell you something. And I hate to be the person that jinxes because I love my Bucs. I'm not trying to set any jinx out our way.
Right.
But it's Halloween in New Orleans. I'm expecting anything.
Well, I think there's anything that could be expected, of course, and with both offenses at this point, and even with the defensive injuries to the Bucs in that back end, they're expected to have back Richard Sherman. Even with those wide receivers not necessarily being the greatest, there could be some fireworks in this game that you would think would happen.
Well, you guys know like I know.
Yeah.
If you let Sean Payton get in a rhythm, it's going to get ugly.
Yeah.
Yep.
You cannot let Sean Payton. You have to go in there and you have to hit New Orleans in the mouth. You got to hit them hard. And you got to hit them out first.
Yep. That's what it comes down to. And look, they could get down in this game, and most likely they have the offensive weapons to come back. Although Antonio Brown is out of this game, so you're going to be right. Go ahead.
That'll be okay because it's just going to get. Isn't Scotty Miller back this game?
No word on Scotty. Scotty was
out.
back.
He's out.
Practice.
He's out.
I still like Tyler Johnson, and I like the young kid.
Jalen Darden. Right.
Yeah.
Right. So both of those players could.
I would like to see Darden get a bubble screen and take that shit to the house. That's what I would love to see.
Sure. And I think there's certainly a possibility of that. And besides Lattimore, you have Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. You got the old vet and Malcolm Jenkins. On the other side, not necessarily. And Carolina just scored a touchdown. Chuba Hubbard there.
Yep.
It's going to be finally good to have Gronk back healthy, and then with the way OJ's been playing over the last week or two,
Correct.
That's going to be nasty out there, man. It's
Correct.
gonna be nasty out
And
there.
I think it's not only Gronk with him being a pass catcher and getting across the middle and being in that red zone versus the number one defense, but also helping out with the inline blocking of a Cam Jordan, helping Tristan Wirfs like he did all throughout the year, helping a Donovan Smith. You're able to have him in there. You feel a lot better about it. Once again, this offensive line has done a hell of a job, and they've had to. That was the big onus, keep Brady clean because he is 44 years old, 9 sacks coming into this game.
And one of the key things here, Curtis and Peter, the Bucs, when the Bucs can protect with 5, they can get 5 out in the route.
Sure.
That's even more when you can spread the field out and get five guys in the route. It's more for the Saints to have to defend as opposed to having to keep Gronk in the block or keep the running back in to have to chip block because the offensive line can't hold up.
Correct. And then you get into the red zone and you have those mismatch nightmares with the Gronk, with the Howard, with the Brate, possibly a 3 tight end look, which we haven't seen consistently because Gronk has been hurt. Howard has not been 100%. Brate has been hurt. Finally, the Bucs are starting to get healthy at the right time.
I have a couple things to say.
Sure.
I love Ronald Jones, but can he not be our goal line back, please?
No, he does not need. He's the victim of not getting in to the end zone. And look, it pains me because he showed it last week. He showed that burst. He showed that he could definitely take it to the house, 10 carries for 63 yards. But when it comes to the goal line, Jason Powers, you'd feel a lot better with the Leonard Fournette.
Fournette's the better goal line runner.
Yeah. Agree.
I mean, dude, you could have put Giovanni Bernard in there. He could have got that touchdown.
Yeah, I don't understand it. I mean, he's trying to jump up. He's getting hit. I mean,
well, I think what Bruce Arians was trying to do is, which I didn't blame him. Is he's trying to rebuild this kid's confidence.
Right.
That's what he's trying to do.
He is.
And you can't knock him for it. It's not like it changed the the momentum of the game or anything. So whatever. Anyway. Back to what I was listening to what Powers was saying earlier, and I just wanted to say this. For the people out there that are talking about we gave up 100 yards in the last 2 games.
Yeah, please.
Shove it up your behind. And I'm sorry, I don't mean to be like that.
Right.
But I'm going to say this. We also, in those 2 games, did not give up over 200 yards passing.
Right.
Correct.
We were giving up to almost 300 yards passing per game.
Right. Right.
So 100 yards rushing and less than 200 yards passing, I'll take that any week.
Yes.
Yeah.
And again, a lot of those yards were garbage running yards. We were rotating guys in the game that normally wouldn't have been in the game had the score been close. So that's a meaningless 100-yard game.
Exactly. And I'm sorry, I'm not talking about the kids. They're not nobodies, but they're names that aren't really big names.
Yes.
And they were basically playing in. I mean, the Eagle game was close, but it wasn't close.
Agree. And the penalty situation, which was cleaned up last week, that kept that Eagle team in there. And that's one of the keys that I feel like any game, but especially versus the Saints because they take advantage of it. And again, they're well coached. You can't have those critical penalties. And that's going to be the difficult thing. I get it. The Bucs have played the crowd before, but that crowd is going to be different on Halloween. Of course, looks like Sam Darnold's gone out of the game there.
Concussion. Banged his head pretty hard on the turf.
PJ Walker coming in. The greatness of PJ Walker, the old XFL from a couple years ago.
Hey,
yes.
I'm going to just say this to you fellas.
Yes.
When Sean Payton is calling the plays, I expect anything, okay?
Yeah. Trick play. Yep.
Trick plays, onside kicks. You have to be ready for everything.
Right.
Like this is one of those games that where if we're not perfect, we got to be damn near perfect.
Sure.
Perfect. Yeah.
Sure, Curtis. And you saw it last year with the trick play to Winston to Traquan Smith.
That shit still burns me up.
Sure it does.
Because you hate to say it, if the Bucs win today, they pretty much can put the division to rest.
Oh, yeah.
They'll be up 2 games plus the tiebreaker.
Sure.
I mean, you win today if you're the Buccaneers, the division's pretty much over if you're the Saints.
Pretty much. And you know what, the way Carolina, even though they're winning right now,
that ain't
that's to me, they're not
the
going
division's
to catch
over.
The Tampa. Yeah,
the Bucs win today, the division's over.
Yeah.
Did Dak play today or is that game later?
That game is later. I believe it's tonight.
Who?
Dak Prescott.
Yeah, Minnesota, Dallas tonight. Yes.
Tonight on Sunday Night Football on NBC. Gotta love it.
Touchdown, Detroit Lions.
Oh, look at that.
Wait, are they
Thanks
winning?
a lot. No,
41-7. 41-6.
I feel like an idiot because I picked this team right now. Now you're gonna let me have it.
That's because how could listen? We have a fan love for Detroit because of their coach. That guy, I can only imagine what he's going to do when he finally gets his first win.
Right.
It's going to be like he won the goddamn Super
Well,
Bowl.
he's had this team playing well up to competition. It's not like they quit today, but Philadelphia
No,
came out
they've just
and punched them right in the mouth.
They're just not any good.
No.
So
they're not.
here's the real question.
Yes.
Are they going to get rid of Jared Goff? That is the real question.
Yes,
They're gonna try.
I think you do.
They're
I
gonna.
think you
Well,
do
they got to get
because-
somebody to take them. They can't just. They're not going to cut them.
Well, you can make him a backup, or you
Not at $25 million a year. You can't. You can't do that for $25 million.
I still think they're going to draft the heir apparent next year. Right. I think they're going to do that. Spencer Rattler, most likely a Matt Corral out of
Spencer
Ole Miss.
Rattler. He can't even start for Oklahoma.
Well, I think he's definitely going to be in the conversation.
No, he will not.
They think
That guy's. You talking about overrated?
I tell you what.
That guy's overrated.
Hey,
maybe
Peter,
not first round, maybe
Peter,
second round, but
hey,
Matt
Peter,
Corral out of Ole Miss.
In Cowher's defense,
yes,
if you can't succeed in a Lincoln Riley offense, then you're not a quarterback.
I agree with that.
And the most overrated player in college football may be the kid at Clemson, DJ Ugalele. Remember the great game he had at Notre Dame last year? He is. I mean, he is not. He is playing very poorly.
I mean, I like the kid from Oregon better than I like Rattler.
I mean, man,
all
he
right.
is struggling.
So we got Leo calling in here. Curtis, let me go ahead and put you on hold really quick here. Stand by here, Leo. Hold on. All right, go ahead, Curtis. Give me your key to this game and prediction, and we'll get on Leo Haggerty, the legend himself.
Run the damn ball.
Okay.
Run the ball.
Okay.
Chill them in the middle of the field with Gronk and OJ and even some Godwin and Evans with the play action and no turnovers.
All right.
That's how you win the game.
Final score.
Ooh, God. I'm going to go 28-25 Bucs.
28-25 Tampa Bay. All right, let me go ahead and fire those cannons. Let me go ahead and give you the Ric Flair roll. Appreciate you, Curtis. We'll see you on the post game, all right?
All right, brother.
All right, there you go. Curtis from Newport Richie calling us up. We'll have Leo Haggerty here in just a couple of minutes. I don't know why I said Spencer Rattler because you're exactly right. He has not played well. But there is a kid out of Liberty who's playing well right now. The name escapes me.
This is a light year in the quarterback draft. Not a clear cut. The kid from North Carolina, a lot of people think Sam Howell.
Right.
They think he's potentially a first round kind of guy, but this is not a great draft for the quarterback. If you need a quarterback.
I'm still not ready to give up on Rattler. If he plays well, he's got the skills.
But he's not playing.
But he's not playing. Right.
He's not starting. The
Right.
other guy's starter.
Right. True.
So
giving it to me today.
I'm sorry. I'm just
It's
telling
all
you the
right.
facts, brother.
That's all right. That's
Just
what we
the
like
facts.
here. Just the facts. All right. Let's go. Tell Curtis you all haven't played nobody yet. I mean, you just continue with this nonsense. I mean, even though it's not the sports web, it kind of is. So do three things for me. Bring your passion. Bring your excitement. Just don't bring any nonsense. And my friend, you are the king of nonsense, Troy Polamalu. I appreciate you. With Green Bay beating Arizona, if the Bucs win today, they should be the number one seed in the NFC, right? And of course, the reason why that is so important for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to get that number one seed, of course, they're the only team that would get that bye besides the AFC team. That's a new thing today. This year, it used to be 1 and 2.
Critical. That's critical.
Right. That's critical, especially with the injuries and everything like that. And of course, you know, we talk about it all the time, Tom Brady being 44 years old, but it's good to get that rest. It's good.
And remember, the Bucs have a bye week after this week, so you don't.
Right.
Again, even more incentive to try to get off the snide here this week and get the W because you got a week off.
Right.
Again, you'll be up 2.5 games in the division.
Yeah.
They're not catching us if we're up 2.5 games.
No, Leo Haggerty will be calling back in just a minute. Frank Johnson says, "What's up, guys? What's going on?" Rattler, Peter takes it easy on the drinks. Look, I've seen the kid play. He hasn't played lately. Just relax, all right?
4th round pick.
Maybe a 2nd round pick.
4th round.
All right, we'll see. Leo Haggerty here. Spencer Rattler out of Oklahoma. Let me start out with that. Where do you see him going in this draft this year? Welcome to NSPN. And, of course, I love St. Pete.
How are you, Peter?
I'm doing good. I'm kind of getting killed on the Spencer Rattler talk, but yeah, I've seen some of the stuff, the flashes of brilliance, but like my co-host has told me, Jason Powers, he's not playing that well right now.
No, he's not playing.
He's not playing at all.
He's not playing.
He's not playing.
Caleb Williams is the man in Oklahoma now.
You're an evaluator at this point. Where do you see a Spencer Rattler going in the draft next year? I know it's crazy to start out with that, but we got to.
My question is, why would he go into the draft next year when you're not a starting quarterback? I know he's eligible to go to the draft. What he should do is should transfer and go somewhere where he can play well, because he's not going to be. He won't.
Because as Leo would tell you, the combine makes all the difference in the world, and maybe he has a great combine, and a team like the Lions pick him in the second round instead of the first. Go ahead, Leo. Your thoughts?
Oh, I agree. Get in the portal. If you want to make money, get in the portal, go somewhere. If
Right.
you want to come out now, you're going to be a second or third round pick because you couldn't even beat out the freshman.
Correct.
And if I'm a scout and I come in, my general manager is going to say, listen, you want me to take a guy who couldn't even beat out a freshman? that doesn't bode well.
All right. Everybody's killing me on the Spencer Rattler talk. So let's move on.
Please.
Will you shut up and be quiet? Let's go out to Jameis Winston, of course. All eyes on him, starting against his former team. He's talking about it this week, how he has to keep his emotions in check. There's no revenge, but there is no lovey-dovey stuff. I mean, do you buy this from Winston and the way he's looking at this game against the Bucs?
Oh, he wants to win this so bad here, it's not even funny.
Correct.
And again, you and I were the only two guys maybe in that whole town that say, hey, Jameis may not be the problem.
Right.
We may have to just wait a year or two and go from there, but you know what? When the chance to get Brady came about, you have to roll those guys.
Sure.
And the Bucs did. And now we're starting to see, well, let's see what the Bucs could have had. And again, he's not saying that, Bruce Arians and Leftwich are not offensive geniuses, but Sean Payton does things with quarterbacks. I mean, look at what he did with Drew Brees.
Right.
I mean, physical attributes, if Drew Brees is 6 foot, that would be amazing. But he does a good job of getting the most out of his players. Look for today for the Saints to throw some very easy passes early in the first quarter just to get Winston in the rhythm.
I think the stat that I was amazed by was the Saints, who have, their bread and butter from Sean Payton has been to throw the ball down the field, take deep shots. And I'm not saying Winston can't do that, but at the end of the day, coming into it, only 25 throws a game. And we talked about this when Winston was with the Bucs, alleviate those throws, cut down on those throws, use the running game. I mean, what do you see from the Saints offense that favors the Tampa Bay Buccaneers on defense?
Oh, you better find out where 41 is every play.
Okay.
And again, I look for the Buccaneers to play a lot of zone, and here's why. If the Saints get you man-to-man, and Kamara's the guy that you got to man up with a linebacker or a safety, advantage Saints.
Yeah.
So I don't think the Bucs are going to play a lot of man-to-man today. If I play a lot of zone, they may bracket 41 because look at what he did last week against Seattle. I mean, he ran jerk route after jerk route after jerk route. You know what they call it, jerk route?
What's that? What do they call it?
You go right, he goes left. If he goes left, you go right. Whichever way you go, you're a jerk. That's why they call it jerk.
All right.
And it's great.
Huh?
Hey, 41 is the guy you got to do. Now, understand this. I went on radio with New Orleans, ESPN New Orleans. And the Saints wide receiver core is really not that good.
Poor. They are below average.
Yeah, maybe it's not Winston they're worried about, but the receiving core making plays. So we'll see what happens.
We'll definitely see what happens. We're on the legend, Mr. Leo Haggerty, former Coach Scout and now media member of Night Sports Productions. It's Sports Mag. Jason, you got a question for Mr. Leo?
No, I mean, offensively, what do you think the Buccaneers? Do you think they're going to come out passing first to then run, or do you think they're going to try to run first to then pass?
Well, this defense is built to stop the run in New Orleans. So the biggest problem the Buccaneers are going to have is this is going to be the loudest place they've played in 2 years. This place is going to be electric. And like Arian said, he said, I can't wait to turn around, look at the stands, and see what these folks are wearing today. It's going to be It's 60 minutes till kickoff out here.
Yeah.
And people are just going nuts. I had to go into a bathroom just to talk to you. It's crazy. It's going to be loud. I don't know how the Bucs prepare for this. I think it's going to be a problem for them. I think the Buccaneers want to run the football. Whether they can, that'll be the question.
Yeah, and I think that, to me, that has to be the game plan for this Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Is there any worry? Because Jason kind of scoffs at what I'm saying, but the last 2 games they've given up 100 rushing yards, although they've been without Levante David. It looks like they're going to get David back. Is there any worry about this rushing unit? Can they shut down an Alvin Kamara? Todd Bowles says you can't, but you basically, to me, have to make the Saints one-dimensional and force Jameis Winston to beat you. Is that where you look at this game plan, where the Bucs should go?
It's funny, Peter. I said that question to Arians. He gave me an answer. He said, we got to stop Kamara. I said, is that what easier said than done? He said, absolutely. The guy's going to get his yards.
Right.
Whether he gets it through the air or gets it on the ground, it's clear. I think the magic number is 29.
Yeah.
If the Bucs throw it more than 29 times, there's a problem. Brady should throw it somewhere between 25 and 29 times today. If they're going to win, they've got to take this crowd out of the game.
Now, we know about Mike Evans in the matchup versus Lattimore, and usually Lattimore wins it. Of course, Evans catching a touchdown last year in the divisional round, 1 catch. So if it's not Evans, and we assume that Lattimore is going to dominate that matchup, which is no certainty, if you will. Chris Godwin, Tyler Johnson, Jalen Darden, and the return of possibly Rob Gronkowski. You feel good about that matchup?
Oh, I feel great if Gronkowski can play.
Okay.
Again, he's not inactive. So we see here that the inactives are Trask, Keyshawn Vaughn, Dee Delaney, Nick Leverett, Antonio Brown, and Steve McClendon.
Okay.
So that's the he's not on the inactive list.
So no Dee Delaney today, who has played somewhat well. That's a loss, but you got Richard Sherman who will be coming back. So you have Sherman, Dean, and Ross Cockrell playing the slot position. So once again, the Bucs beaten up in that secondary. And with that being said, Leo, you talked about the wide receivers coming in. Traquan Smith really hurt the Bucs last year with 2 touchdowns in that divisional round game. Is there a possibility, a crazy possibility, that this wide receiving core could do what they haven't done throughout the season because of all the injuries to this back end of the Bucs? They could absolutely light this Bucs team up.
I don't know if they can light them up, but I think they can make some plays.
Okay.
And again, the key is if they can make plays. The preponderance of knowledge.
Very good. Very nice. Very full of it there. Good job.
Yeah, the preponderance of knowledge is that the Saints got to run the football.
Right.
I don't know how they're going to run the football, but they got to find a way to run the football. And if they can do that, if they can make the Bucs put 7 in the box, now they got an advantage because now you got Kamara playing man.
Yeah.
They've got to be able to come up with a way of making the Bucs play man to man. That should be that's the key to the game right there.
Also, another key of the game, this offensive line coming into it, 9 sacks given up. No sacks last week versus the Bears, but a different story. You have Cameron Jordan, you have Davenport, you have David Omiyata, the defensive tackle, who's returning, which will help out Demario Davis. I mean, that matchup alone, do you think that offensive line can handle that defensive unit of the Saints?
Peter, up until now, they've handled everybody's defense.
Yeah.
So I think the Bucs offensive line will do well.
Right.
Question, Peter. Again, there's 2 things you can't handicap: injuries and turnovers. Can the Buccaneers secondary survive the game? That's the big question.
Yeah.
Second, don't turn the ball over. The team that turns the ball over the most is probably going to win. It's probably going to be on the wrong end of that scoreboard.
Jason, go ahead. You got a question?
Leo, give me your thoughts on kind of an untalked about part of the game that I think could be a factor, the kicking game. Saints have a new kicker, Will Lutz, out for the year now. That's been made official. They had the kid Brian Johnson play Monday night, first game.
None of AC/DC, right?
He's actually a Virginia Tech guy, I believe. But yes, Brian Johnson, all night long, baby.
But you know what, guys? my key to the game is this is going to come down to a field goal.
Right.
And it's going to come down to the Saints kicking it. That's what I think is going to happen. Is there's going to be a kick late in this game that's going to decide the game. And if that's the case, advantage Buccaneers.
I agree. Yep, I agree.
All right, good stuff, Leo. We'll get you we'll a couple more final questions here, and then we'll get you out of here and off to the game. What was your thoughts on the report from Jason LaCamfora of CBS Sports on Friday night that the Panthers were not only willing to give up multiple picks for Deshaun Watson, but also a Christian McCaffrey? Is that a mistake?
Yeah. But again, Carolina's becoming the Jets.
Right.
I mean, why did you think you were going to get anything out of Donald? Why do you think he was better than Teddy Bridgewater? No, you don't give up McCaffrey. He's the heart and soul of this football team.
Yeah. All right. So final score for the Bucs. They win. Close game here. What's the score?
Peter, you're not going to like this. I think because the Saints need this game more than anything else, I think it's going to be 27-26 Saints.
Wow.
All right, there you go. Leo Haggerty, let me go ahead and give him his walk-up music and then get that.
Bruce is not going to be happy with you in the post game.
Well, I hope I'm wrong. We're going to see what happens. This crowd is going to be worth a touchdown, no doubt about it.
All right, Mr. Leo Haggerty, go ahead and promote yourself here live on NSPN. And, of course, I Love St. Pete.
Check us out at www.itsportsmag.com. And, guys, sit back, enjoy the game. This is going to be wild.
All right, there you go. The legend himself, Mr. Leo Haggerty, former coach, scout, and now media member of Night Sports Productions at Sports Mag. Thanks a lot for your time, boss, all right?
All right, take care. Talk to you after the game.
All right,
see you,
sounds
Leo.
good. There you go. Leo Haggerty out there. Tell you what, want to go out to the phone lines here. Couple quick calls. Let's go out to this guy here. Doesn't have any walk-up music because he didn't give me any.
We got some drama here developing in Cleveland. 15-10, about 2.5 minutes to go. 15-10 Pittsburgh. Cleveland driving to win the game.
All right.
Atlanta goes down to Carolina.
Close game here. San Francisco 30-22. And I guess we don't have our caller, so that's okay. Let's go out to the comments here. Troy Polamalu, King Troy, Trojan Legend SC. Are you all on the diet? I don't even see water on the table. I got my drink right here. We're trying to be a little bit professional today, as we always are here on NSPN. And, of course, I Love St. Pete. This game is huge. Bucs can take a commanding lead in the South. And Christopher Cole Watson isn't going anywhere this year. Of course, the trading deadline coming up this week. Do you believe the rumors from Jason LaCamfora of CBS Sports that if the Panthers indeed are giving up multiple picks and Christian McCaffrey, Houston would be crazy not to take that deal?
Here's the problem. Deshaun Watson has a no-trade waiver. He can dictate where he goes.
But I think he would want to go to Carolina.
He only wants to go to Miami.
Really? Wow. Well, there you go.
Seems like that's the only team he's given an okay that he'll accept a trade to that team.
But you would think him and his Clemson ties.
You would think.
Okay.
You would think, but
Right.
the reports are he's only acknowledged Miami is the team that he'd be willing to go to.
Yeah. All right. I'll tell you what. Let's go out here really quick to Todd Bowles in his thoughts on Jameis Winston and how to defend him here live on NSPN and I Love St. Pete. Here we go.
Different system. The biggest thing for us, we're not just playing Jameis. He's got 10 other guys that can play damn good football over there that we got to prepare for. So if you just prepare for one guy, you're going to lose right off the top. Well, they got a great offensive line. Their receivers are very good. We just talked about the running back, and they have very good tight ends. So, and then Sean's a heck of a play caller. So we got to get ready for the Saints. Jameis is a sidebar for the people that's been here and everything else. And, he's a great guy. I love him off the field, but we got to get ready for the Saints, not just Jameis.
All right, so there you go. Welcome back here live on NSPN, live from Ducky Sports Lounge, 1719 West Kennedy Boulevard in Tampa. I'm your host, Peter Blake, along with the power man, Jason Powers, and he said it best, and a lot of people kind of bring up the thought of Todd Bowles has seen Winston in practice. Would that be an advantage? We go back to it. Bill Belichick saw Tom Brady in practice in all those years. Is that an advantage? Do you feel like it's an advantage? Do you feel like Bowles is kind of downplaying this, saying, well, it's not just Winston you have to defend, it's the other team also. It's the 10 other guys on that team.
Yeah, both guys have an advantage. Jameis knows Todd Bowles a little bit. Todd Bowles obviously knows Jameis from their practice days and all that stuff. So it's, and again, these coaches know each other well enough. Peyton knows what Todd Bowles does. Todd Bowles knows what Peyton likes to do. It's a different cast of characters in New Orleans, so it's a little different, but tendencies are tendencies. These guys like to know when, Bowles likes to call the all-out blitz versus zone defense, things like that. So it's a chess game. That's why it's, and even if you know what the play's coming, you still have to execute. Even if you know what's coming, you still have to execute the plays, make the throws, make the tackles.
All right, let's go out. So there you go. Christopher Cole says Watson isn't going anywhere. We're waiting for Ruth the Truth here. She is live from the Big Easy, walking around interviewing some fans. So we'll see if we can get her on here. And, of course, your phone calls, as always, 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391, live here on NSPN. And, of course, I Love St. Pete. What is that? All right, as we are getting handed here by Eric White, 2 Tom Brady rookie cards right here coming down. Come down to Ducky Sports Lounge. We'll be giving these away today. Happy Halloween as we're getting you ready for Bucs versus the Saints right now. Very close to game time. Of course, game time is about 4:25. All right, let's go out to Brian Baldigger of the NFL Network, NFL Media, on his little breakdown of Ryan Jensen. And this may be something to watch today with Jensen's physicality, this offensive line's physicality, live here on NSPN. And, of course, I Love St. Pete. Here we go.
Here's the opening touchdown of this game. It's the third offensive play of the game. Ryan Jensen's already had it. Got Eddie Goldman on his nose. Got to snap it to the goat. Got to get the ball up first. And then, bang. So watch this. Bang. See this hip snap? He comes out almost like a, bam, snaps his hips. Now he's got Goldman standing up. Now watch the feet move. Just gaining real estate. Going to get him to the end zone here. The play's over. Big Lenny's already scored. Then you get this. Like you just knocked Eddie Goldman, your nose tackle, 3 yards into the end zone. So then you get this reaction from Goldman. See this? Get out of here. So here comes Goldman. Bam. See what you start? You get underneath their skin, and you're like, yeah, it's going to start a fight, going to finish the fight, going to be here all day long. Love it.
All right, so there you go. Welcome back here to NSPN, and, of course, I Love St. Pete. I'm your host, Peter Blake, live here at Ducky Sports Lounge, along with the power man himself, Jason Powers. And we keep on talking about that offensive line. Do you feel like this offensive line, namely a Ryan Jensen, could get into the head of maybe a Marcus Davenport, a Cam Jordan?
I worry the other way.
I think it's possible. I think
it's the other way, that they rile up Jensen to get a stupid on personal foul.
Right.
You've seen plenty of that over the last couple years with Jensen here. He's not afraid to get a personal foul for doing something stupid.
Yeah.
But I will say, with Tom Brady in the house, he ain't going to do that crap with Tom Brady.
And once again, we're giving away these rookie cards for Tom Brady right here, live on NSPN. I Love St. Pete. Get out here. That's the only way you're going to be able to get it. And, of course, get on the phone line, 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391.
We got some developing situations here.
It looks like we do. What's going
Jets, touchdown Jets, 32-31 Jets over the Bengals. And Pittsburgh has just held the Browns under 2 minutes to go, 15-10 Pittsburgh with the ball.
Wow.
But the Jets is the huge upset here. A lot of survivor pools, people that are in survivor pools.
Yeah.
Pick the Bengals today over the woeful Jets. But 32-31, about 3.5 minutes to go in New York.
Yeah, there you go. So developing news here. The Jets beating the Cincinnati Bengals after their big win. 49ers 30-22, 2 minutes left in the fourth quarter. Carolina won their game.
Carolina won 19-10.
I thought the Atlanta Falcons would win that game. Oh, see,
Buffalo's kicking a field goal to try to put the game at 9 points, which will probably put the game away.
Close contest there right now. And then, of course,
2-point conversion good in New York. 34-31 Jets. Mike White getting it done for the New York Jets.
Who would have thought that? Mike White for the injured rookie Zach Wilson.
And we got a breakaway here for the Steelers. This guy is running loose. Deontay Johnson for about 50. Wow.
Big stuff going on here.
Wow.
And you won't be able to see these games. Of course, you can at home, or you can experience them here live at Ducky Sports Lounge, 1719 West Kennedy Boulevard.
I was
in
hoping for a
Tampa.
breakaway touchdown there by Deontay Johnson for
Put them out. Put the Browns out.
Yeah.
I picked the Browns in this game.
I picked the Steelers. That was
I
my
picked the
play of the
Bengals
day.
In this game. I picked the Falcons in this game. I've lost big time.
My-
And I picked the Cardinals.
My plays of the day today were Pittsburgh plus the 5, Seattle minus the 3.5. I liked the Vikings tonight against the Cowgirls, and I like the Buccaneers minus the 4.
You said it. All right, so we're expecting Ruth the Truth here. Hopefully, we can get her on. Jets are from New Jersey, not New York, my friend. They're still the New York Jets, just in the season, and right now they're not ending the season on a bad note. In fact, they're taking care of business versus the Cincinnati Bengals. You can see the Bengal contingent over there kind of biting their nails just a little bit.
Nervous.
They're a little bit nervous. All right. So I tell you what, let's go ahead and go out to another breakdown from our own Blake Anthony, who couldn't join us today. We may get him over here later on, but he has the winning angle on how to possibly beat Jameis Winston and the New Orleans Saints here live on NSPN and I Love St. Pete. Here we go.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to this week's The Winning Angle. Always check out everything live right here on NSPN and follow me right there on the social media platforms at Blake Anthony 49. You don't want to miss what's in store for you. So without further ado, check out this week's The Winning Angle in 3, 2, 1. Let's go! Are you ready? Let's go!
The moment everybody's been waiting for. Tom Brady, Jameis Winston. Winston as the starter, facing off against the Buccaneers at home in New Orleans. We'll talk about Jameis Winston's tendencies to go right, they send blitzes left, underneath coverages, tendencies to go from tight end to running back or one read to the back, and the other things the Tampa Bay Buccaneers should get into. So you guys sit back, relax, enjoy the show, and let me know what you think. This week, Jameis Winston's up, and he goes one read to the tight end and then goes to his back. New Orleans will throw a lot of screens, and they have to take Kamara away. But here's the first things first. Take the read 1 away and then go to 2. Drop a guy into covers because Jameis Winston will lose him in transition. And what I mean about lose him in transition, here's a clip from 2019. Jameis is looking for his first read, goes to the back. Linebacker is able to get underneath, and Jameis can't find him. We just talked about forcing Jameis away from his throwing side. That's the kind of things that happen when you force Jameis away from the right-hand side. Here's a game of Washington. Interior pressure. Washington's able to get 5-man rushing, forcing the guard back into Jameis Winston's feet. He cannot drive the ball, and Jameis throws an interception in the middle of the field. Tampa should force Jameis Winston to keep balls in the middle of the field and not be able to go to the sidelines if they want turnovers.
Hey, Stan Arthur here for the I Love St. Pete Facebook group. If you're a business owner looking to connect with tens of thousands of potential new local customers, you owe it to yourself to get enrolled in our Key Tag Rewards program. Since 2019, we've signed up more than 200 local merchants. Sponsor opportunities are available too, such as our group banner ad and even your own custom key tags. Just go to stpetekeytag.com, get enrolled, and get ready to get busy. stpetekeytag.com.
All right, welcome back here live at Ducky Sports Lounge. I'm your host, Peter Blake, giving you something to think about here live on NSPN. I Love St. Pete, getting you ready for Bucs versus the Saints. We got Jason Powers in the building. Just to update some games right now, interception 49ers, as it looks like they've sealed the deal. The nail is in the coffin, 33-22 over the Chicago Bears. So the Bears' struggles continue as they will fall to 3-5. The 49ers will be 3-4. Of course, we talked about the Steelers 15-10 right now. Looks like they were going to close that game out. Of course, earlier on, the Panthers defeated the Atlanta Falcons 19-13. Buffalo over the Miami Dolphins 20-11. A little bit close game there. The big-time story right now, Bengals got back the ball. It looks like an offensive lineman is hurt. It's exactly what you don't need if you're Joe Burrow. They're beating the Cincinnati Bengals 34-31. So there you go. That's your updated scores. Last check, the Colts and the Titans were tied at 24. And, of course, get down here at Ducky Sports Lounge, giving away Tom Brady rookie cards right there. You see them in the camera. and open phone lines for another, heck, I would say another 19 minutes, and then we'll get out of here. 727-255-0391 and 727-255-0391. So Blake Anthony with the winning angle on the tendencies of Jameis Winston. And you look back at the game last week against the Seattle Seahawks, he was able to be mobile. Once again, the Bucs will have their hands full because we know that he can definitely improvise. And we know that when he can get out of the pocket, he can make things happen. So that's one of the things, once again, you worry about. But you look back at that Bucs defensive line and how they got after Justin Fields last week. That's what you want to duplicate. JPP with 2 sacks. And what we come to find out about JPP is he has a torn labrum. He's wearing a club on his hand. And he's still able to be that productive. Shaq Barrett getting after it, causing fumbles. And I think there's another big matchup in this game that people haven't looked at that we haven't really talked about. Andres Pete, the left guard there. What's the impact for that offensive line? They're getting back Taron Armstead on the left side against Seattle, which helped them out. You have Ryan Ramczyk on the right side, but you lose Andres Pete. So those 2 guys in the interior of Vita Vea and Ndamukong Suh, those guys could have a big day, and they need to have a big day. Not only shutting down an Alvin Kamara, but also getting after a Jameis Winston. Because as we always talk about it, you get pressure on the quarterback no matter what the quarterback is. You disrupt the timing. You disrupt everything at that point. So there you go. Trade Fields, they're not going to do that. They need to get rid of Matt Nagy at this point. And, of course, we talked about the Tom Brady situation, right? 21 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. No interceptions last week, 4 touchdowns. Not necessarily the best game. You know that he wants to keep this Bucs team hot. With all the talking about how great this Saints defense is, what do we learn about Brady? That 90% of the stuff he says is not true. So he may be talking up that Saints defense, but you know the competitive fire is there for this offense to take off. And you look at Evans' numbers last week, 3 touchdowns, highly involved in the game. That's one of the main matchups you have to look at in this game. Mike Evans versus Marshawn Lattimore, not Marcus Marshawn, not his brother. Can Evans break out? Is this a game for Evans to break out, or is it a game for Chris Godwin? Or is it a game for Tyler Johnson, who, again, going back to the scene of the crime, 3rd and 15, big-time 3rd down conversion. In his limited time, he's made some big plays in Bucs history. So he's going to be dependent on today. Jalen Darden, the rookie, is going to be dependent on today. It's good to get Rob Gronkowski back with the way that O.J. Howard has played well lately. So now you have your 2 tight ends. Now you have your 3 tight ends, possibly with Cameron Brate. And that's the key. When you get into that red zone, you're going to have to put points on the board and not field goals. You take the field goal, but you want to get touchdowns, of course. 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391 as we are getting you ready for Bucs versus the Saints. Against this pass defense, which, again, we talk about it. Lattimore, Chauncey Gardner-Johnson out of Florida. Malcolm Jenkins, who has become a Bucs killer, is still a veteran who still has something left in that tank and who also plays close to the line. I think another key to this game is to get the running game working. You have to have balance to your offense. You do. I continue to say it, and I'll continue to say it on this show. And you look at Leonard Fournette. They're rushing 99 yards per game. That's what the Bucs are averaging. 413, 4 touchdowns. And then on top of it, what has made him stand out to the other running backs in that room is to be able to catch the ball out of the backfield consistently. He did that in the divisional playoff game. Of course, remember getting that touchdown, big-time touchdown in that game. So we'll see what the Bucs can do today versus this Saints team offensively when it comes to the running game. That's a challenge, though. because the Saints coming into this game are third against the run. Excuse me. So I tell you what, open phone line, 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. It looks like there's no Taysom Hill today. We talked about Andres Pete. Not having a Hill in the fold as a quarterback is an advantage to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, period. Because of what Sean Payton likes to employ when he has Hill in the game. So you don't have to account for that today. So it's Jameis Winston or nothing. Ian Book is your backup at this point. No Michael Thomas, Cam Jordan, and Demario Davis. Those are the guys you definitely would seem to be worried about when it comes to the New Orleans Saints. And they have something to prove. They want to win. They want to be in contention for the NFC South. And if you truly want to be the divisional winner, this is where you have to do it. You have to go into their house like you did in the divisional playoff game, winning 30-20, and you have to get pressure on the quarterback. You have to cause turnovers. And in the same respect, it's football 101. You protect your quarterback. You make sure he doesn't get hit or sacked, and you don't turn over the ball. The Bucs are good enough to overcome those turnovers and penalties, but why even do it? Why even do it? 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. Besides Lattimore, you have Paulson Adebo, Bradley Roby. We know that name, right? Used to play for the Houston Texans. Of course, had an interception just a couple of years ago on a Saturday versus a Winston. So are they as good as Lattimore? They've done a good enough job. But that's where your matchup lies. That's where you want to expose the Saints in that passing game. I feel good about that. I don't necessarily feel good about the running game, but you have to make a commitment to it. If you're not committed to that running game, once again, you're one-dimensional. I don't like that. So to me, you got to be committed to it. You got to be balanced. Not the greatest names. And again, going back to the wide receiving core for the Saints, you have no Michael Thomas. So that's an advantage, right? But you do have Marcus Callaway, 16 catches, 254 yards, 3 touchdowns. A Troutman who's hurt the Bucs in the past. Jawan Johnson new at tight end. Oh, what do we got here? Wow. Well, we finally got her. Let's see if we can get her on here. Let's see if she can hear us. Let's go out to Ruth the Truth here, multimedia journalist here, live on NSPN.
What's up, everybody? It's Ruth the Truth live for NSPN. I just entered into the Superdome, and it is madness in here. Right now, I'm currently charging my phone because I did a couple live streams off of Bourbon Street. I got to speak to some Bucs fans. They're everywhere. You can hear the Tampa Bay chant all up and down Bourbon Street, and it's awesome. We are just about 15 minutes away from kickoff, and as you can see, the stadium is filling up. A lot of Saints fans are out here representing, and I got to speak to a lot of them, and they are really, really excited about Jameis Winston. And I'm trying to warn them that the excitement might wear off, about mid-season. But you know what? Jameis has had 4 starts without a turnover, so maybe he's making a turn for the best. I hope everybody's having a great time at Ducky's, and I wish I was there joined with you guys, but I'm having a great time at the Superdome, and I'm very, very blessed to be here. Peter, how you doing over there?
I am doing great. Of course, a happy Halloween. You're dressed as a pirate. I love it. What's your biggest? I like it. I like it a lot. Looks real good there. You're ready to go.
I got the whole pirate set up, and I fit right in. I've seen a lot of people in the Pirates get up. I got to take a picture with a lot of Tampa Bay natives that are born and raised in Tampa, and they're out here representing the Buccaneers. And we come big. There's like groups of 10 and more, and they're all over the place. So we're definitely taking over the Caesars Superdome. I hope you guys are having a great time at Ducky's. And I'll make sure to be hopping on for a halftime report. Right now, I'm letting my phone charge for a little while so I can give you guys some great content coming here live from the Superdome.
All right, I love it there, Ruth. Tell me something. You talked to Saints fans there. Are they supremely confident in a Jameis Winston? You mentioned it. You warned them, but do they seem confident that he can get it done and get the Saints, of course, not only the division title, but also to the playoffs?
Yeah, they're super confident. They think Jameis Winston is he definitely experienced a year behind Drew Brees, and it did him well. They think here in Sean Payton's offense, he's really excelling, and they're actually really excited to have Jameis Winston as their quarterback. I got to talk to some Saints fans today, and I asked them if they would have rather had Taysom Hill as their starting quarterback, and they said, no way, Jameis Winston is their guy. But you know what? We had that same excitement when he was with the Buccaneers, so I could definitely understand where they're coming from. And as long as he continues to be that gunslinger mentality and not turn over the ball, he's going to have great success under Sean Payton.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the key at this point, the turnover situation. What's your biggest key for the Bucs to win this game versus the Saints?
Well, we have Antonio Brown that has been ruled out because of an ankle injury, so I really need Creole Grayson to really step up his game, as well as Mike Evans. You guys know that he has that back and forth drama with Marshawn Lattimore, but I'm hoping that he can overcome and really excel in this game. I'm hoping that Chris Godwin as well gets super active and gets, I want them to get involved early in the game, and I hope the Bucs come out with a fast start, because that is key, not to get down and to be up, by 2 touchdowns by halftime, so we can cruise into that second half and not have to play catch up. That's like my biggest key, is for the Bucs not to play catch up during this matchup, because I mean, you guys can hear how loud it is, and I'm not even at my seat yet, and I've been warned that I should probably purchase some what do they call those ear things, so I don't, so the loudness doesn't affect me, because these Spain fans they're all over the place, and they're really loud and they're excited.
Yeah, you're exactly right, and I feel like it comes down to that. When you're on the road, a tough road environment, if you come out right away and knock a team in the mouth, you basically take the fans out of it. Give me your prediction, and we'll get you out of here and get you off to the game. Bucs versus the Saints.
I want to see turnovers. I want to see Jamel Dean get some interceptions, and I just hope our defense and our secondary does not get taken advantage of. And yeah, turnovers are going to be key in this game. I think whichever offense or whichever defense can turn the ball over, and I mean, obviously they got to clean up in penalties as well. I think penalties has been an issue, and Bruce Arians spoke about it during the press conferences this week about turnovers, about penalties. So I just need the Buccaneers to execute, because this is a big divisional match, and this game means a lot. The Saints right now are 4-2, and our Buccaneers are 6-1. So we got to keep that momentum going. I mean, we've won ever since the Rams game in week 3, so we just need to keep that momentum on fire.
All right, I love it. Give me a final.
It's starting to get loud in here. Can you guys hear it?
I can hear it. Give me a final score. Bucs versus the Saints. Who wins?
I have the Bucs winning, of course.
What's the score?
I want to say 28-21 Buccaneers.
I like it. There you go. Ruth Patrias right there on with us. Ruth the Truth live on NSPN. Enjoy the game, and we'll see you on the post-game edition, all right?
All right, if you guys want to talk to me during halftime, let me know. I'm charging my phone just so I can bring you guys some content.
All right, sounds good. Appreciate you, honey. There you go. Good stuff there from Ruth the Truth out there live. You can hear the crowd. They're ready to go. We're ready to go.
Developing situations.
What's going on?
The Colts have tied the Titans. By the way, Carson Wentz made them one of the most ridiculous turnovers you'll ever see in your life that turned into a Tennessee touchdown.
Right.
Then they get about a 40-yard pass interference call to put the ball on the 1, score with about 20 seconds to go, and we are headed to overtime in Indianapolis.
So overtime extra football right now. Tennessee Titans,
Jets,
of course, yes,
are running the clock out on the Bengals after a controversial helmet-to-helmet on 3rd down, and the Jets are going to beat the Cincinnati Bengals.
Wow, I did not see that coming.
No, we didn't.
Wow.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. They're arguing about something.
All right, so it looks like
first down Jets.
The first down Jets here, and it looks like they're going to win this game. So they have beaten the Tennessee Titans, and they have beaten the Cincinnati Bengals. Figure out the NFL.
Bob Saleh getting it done in New York behind Mike White, a former USF player who transferred to Western Kentucky.
I thought that was him.
That's him.
Wow.
First career start.
There you go. All right, so we're wrapping it up here. We got about 7 minutes to get you to the game. We'll cut off early so you guys can enjoy it. Biggest key to the game for the Bucs to win this.
Get the lead. Play with the lead. Put the pressure on Jameis Winston to have to be a major component of this game as opposed to a complementary piece, which Sean Payton wants him to be.
All right, score.
34-20 Buccaneers.
All right, 34-20. I say exactly what you said. You've been reading my notes. You put the onus on a Jameis Winston. You make him beat you. You shut down an Alvin Kamara. You make this team one-dimensional. I think they can get after Jameis Winston. I think they can stop that running game with Levante David coming back. And I think the Bucs are going to win 31-20 over the New Orleans Saints to go to 7-1 and head into that bye week ready to go, winning that NFC South. For the great Jason Powers on Sports podcast, no quarter given, which we didn't mention, of the Buck Power Network. I'm your host, Peter Blake, live here on NSPN. I love St. Pete from Ducky Sports Lounge. Enjoy the game, guys.
With the Tampa Bay Buccaneers pick.
With the first pick in the 2015 NFL Draft, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers select Jameis Winston, quarterback, Florida State.
And is he really ready for the crucible that the National Football League presents to any athlete, let alone the first overall selection in a draft? It has been done. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers have selected Jameis Winston, number 1 overall in the 2015 draft.
To throw the ball a long way and lead the team and give incredible motivational speeches and things of that nature. But it's also to make sure that you don't also give the same exact chance to the other team to win the game when it comes to turnovers, because he ranks 7th in the NFL when it comes to turnovers, 30 interceptions on it. So Jameis Winston, not only is he number 8 in the history of the game for most pass yards, which would say, hey, that guy's damn good quarterback. What were the names up there? Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, Drew Brees, Ben Roethlisberger, Jameis Winston, Matthew Stafford, Mahomes, Patrick Mahomes. You're talking about the greatest in the game. Jameis Winston is in there, and that's the upside of Jameis. But then you look at this number.
Drew Brees, 42 years old, 15 years to the day that he signed with the New Orleans Saints, has announced his retirement from the National Football League. And
I remember him as an all-time great, Skip, that no one saw this type of career happening.
Before we get to anything else, we do have some breaking news into First Take this morning, and that is that, according to Adam Schefter, Jameis Winston has been named the Saints starting quarterback, and he will make his first start for New Orleans on opening day versus the Green Bay Packers.
That's right, baby. Hey, not all that means we got shot a little more. Hey, we just got shot a little bit more. Okay, that's all it is. That's all it means. All right. Got to see it through, my boy. That's right. That's right. They beat up. I'm up, boy. Jack, move up.
Left. Here is the play action fake. Brady throws the ball. Caught by Evans. Touchdown, Tampa Bay. There's the snap, and Brady has time. Smith goes back. Caught ball. Touchdown, Tampa Bay. It's Leonard Fournette. Buccaneers defense, 4-man front, dropping Breeze. Breeze dropping as the pass. Oh, it's intercepted. Picked off by Devin White to the 40. Shoves a guy out of his way. Inside the 30. Devin White down the sideline. And the Bucs have the ball. We're in business deep in Saints territory. Shotgun formation. Justin Fields takes the snap, looks underneath, loses the football again. It's scooped up by the Bucs. Tampa Bay, Devin White gets the ball. It's at the 25-yard line. Fumble again. A sack fumble.
Hey, Stan Arthur here for the I Love St. Pete Facebook group. If you're a business owner looking to connect with tens of thousands of potential new local customers, you owe it to yourself to get enrolled in our Key Tag Rewards program. Since 2019, we've signed up more than 200 local merchants. Sponsor opportunities are available too, such as our group banner ad and even your own custom key tags. Just go to stpetekeytag.com, get enrolled, and get ready to get busy. stpetekeytag.com.